All right, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Regular Guys NBA DFS show. Well, Regular Guys DFS show. Today, of course, we are focusing on the NBA. I am David. You are back in the dungeon, aka the spot in the house that my wife lets me use for a recording studio. And we're going to get into a few things here today regarding tonight's NBA Finals. Yes, they are finally here on the 6th of July. And we're going to talk through a couple of different things here. We're going to talk through the Showdown slate for tonight's game. And then we're going to flip over and talk a little bit, spend a little bit of time on the series option that DraftKings has for the entire 7-game series. I like playing that maybe a little bit better than Daily Showdown. I've told you guys in the past that Showdown is not necessarily my favorite thing to play. It's such a crapshoot. Even when you win, you're generally tying with a lot of people. You pretty much have to find the optimal lineup. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to our last slate, Milwaukee against Atlanta, to make my point of exactly what I'm talking about. If you follow me on Twitter at SandoDFS, you saw me put this out a couple days ago, and then again this morning. This was our results from the big tournament, the $10 entry tournament for Showdown for last slate for DraftKings. $10 being the one that I think was the only one that they offered. But anyway, I'm not sure. Anyway, you see what happened here. The winning score is right here, 274.38 points. Here's our score. 274.13. This is first place. We're in 20th. 20th place because we played John Collins ahead of Bogdan Bogdanovic, who was in the winning lineup. 32.25, 32.50 is the difference between splitting the $5,000 first prize with, I don't know how many people would have had it, or splitting right around 20th place is what we did. So, John Collins, you couldn't get one more freaking rebound for me, one more. Bogdanovic couldn't have had one more turnover than normal. Anyway, this is to illustrate my point about Showdown. You can do every damn thing right and still not quite get the takedown. But anyway, it's fun. It's really kind of interesting how this ended. I mean, literally a quarter of a point between first place and 20th place. But, I digress. I'm going to spend too much. I was sick to my stomach a little bit when I first went through it, first opened it up the next day. But anyway, this is what Showdown is. So I don't generally spend a lot of time and a lot of money playing Showdown, but it's our only option tonight, and I want to play NBA DF Fantasy, so we're going to play Showdown. I guess before we get into these breakdowns, guys, of the Showdown, and then we'll flip over to series, I always forget to do this, but really would appreciate it if you would hit that like button down below, if you would hit the subscribe button, and then click the notification bell. That way you get notified every time we put out new videos. And also give me a follow on Twitter at SandoDFS. I like to put out some updates on things we're doing. If any news would come out throughout the day, obviously, for NBA DFS, we would put that out if we thought there had to be any lineup changes or adjustments to our lineups. So, give me a quick follow on Twitter at SandoDFS. And again, like, subscribe, and notify. And it's important to me as we start to try and grow this channel because I am excited to announce before we get into this slate, videos are not going to end with the end of the NBA season. In fact, we're going to just start getting started here. I've enjoyed putting these videos out. We've had some success doing it. If you'd followed along, we've had some nights that were stinkers too, but that's DFS in a nutshell. But I am excited. We've been working on a couple, 3 different projects here. And during the summer months, we are going to start putting out some different videos besides NBA DFS. It would be pretty stupid because there will be no NBA going on. The first one we're going to put out is for you guys locally that are following me, but hopefully all the rest of you will jump into. I don't know how much interest you'll have, but I'm going to go back to my roots as a sportscaster, a sports talk radio host, a news talk radio host here in the great state of Nebraska and where I live. And as we get closer to football season, we are going to launch the Husker Nation podcast. We're just going to put out probably once a week, maybe as we get closer to the season, twice a week, we're going to talk Husker football. Again, that's what I did for a good portion of my life when I was in the radio business. I still know a lot of great people at the University of Nebraska and a lot of great people that are in the sports media here around my area in Lincoln and in Nebraska. So we're going to talk Husker football. I'm going to go back to doing that. And now with this name, image, and likeness that's out there, we all know about that. Hopefully we can pick up some pretty cool guests that maybe you guys will want to hear from. So stay tuned for that. We're going to try and launch that next week. I'm still working out some of the details. And then also we're going to launch a podcast called Picks and Parlays. Instead of this NBA DFS, once the NBA season leaves us, we're going to get into some gambling. And like I said, I can't legally gamble here in Nebraska. I want to make that very clear. But I can drive 45 miles across the river to Iowa. It's incredibly stupid. Nebraska is incredibly slow in being up to date, getting progressive about these kind of things with sports betting becoming legal all across the United States. But it is what it is. It's where I live. But we're gonna put some picks in from everything to Major League Baseball to golf. All kinds of stuff that'll be coming up. We're gonna look at some of the fantasy stuff that they have going on at Prize Picks. I'm trying to talk to the people at Prize Picks to see if they would like us to focus a segment on their product. So there'll still be things to talk about, still be things that we can do. Look, guys, we're all waiting for football season. We know that. The NBA is going to be over here in about a week or so, and it's countdown to football. And in that vein, we are going to start back doing our regular guys football, NFL DFS, and maybe some college DFS. So a lot of things coming down the pike. So that's why I'd appreciate if you guys could support the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. That way you get notified every time we put out one of these new videos that hopefully, something that we're doing will appeal to you guys and you'll want to give us a listen. So enough of that. I just want to get into that, let you know what is coming in the future here. We're working hard on it. But let's go ahead and get into tonight's slate. We'll start with Showdown. So probably the most popular guy on the slate tonight is going to be Chris Middleton. He's coming off some huge games. We know that with Giannis off the floor, he has kind of become the scoring guy. Him and Drew Holiday both. As you noticed in that, when the last Showdown I play, I actually used Holiday as my captain instead of Middleton. And I'm going to lean towards that tonight too, guys. I'm going to use Drew Holiday as one of my captains. I'm entered in a couple 3-entry max tournaments. That's why I entered myself in. And I'm going to use Drew Holiday as one of them over Chris Middleton. I went back and did some research. I heard somebody say something on the radio, so I went back and did some research. And quite frankly, as good as Chris Middleton's been lately, the first game of all of the series, and in some cases the first couple games of the series, with each series that they've played this year throughout the playoffs, Chris Middleton hasn't been very good. He's been a slow starter. Now, that could be different tonight with Giannis not on the floor. We know he's not going to be on the floor. And, Middleton will probably be called on to try and be the top scorer for the Bucks. But he really hasn't started off a series that well. You couple that with how popular he's going to be in the captain spot tonight. And I'm not going to use Chris Middleton as a captain. In fact, there's a couple lineups I built. There's one lineup I built for sure that doesn't even have Chris Middleton in it. Again, it's such a crapshoot with Showdown. We're going to try and get different without getting too cute. We know who mainly scores the ball for both of these teams. It's just, night per night. 2 games ago when Brook Lopez has a career high not playoff high, not series high, a career high of like score goes out and blows up and scores 30 some freaking points. That's what we're looking for in a one-time showdown. Brook Lopez was not that highly owned. He goes off, he pops up. If you have him as a captain, you win. If you got the rest of the guys below it right. So instead of going with the chalk with Chris Spindle tonight, I'm going to put a Drew Holiday lineup in. So let's just go ahead and build a quick one here with Holiday. And this is what there's a couple of options here. I really like DeAndre Ayton. I like him more in the series option that we'll flip over to, and I'll just let you know who I'm going to use for my captains in series, just because of his consistency. But again, Phoenix is home tonight. They haven't played in a while. I guess we're worried about rust in some situations. But I also think that without Giannis playing tonight, with the extra rest Phoenix has had, with Milwaukee having to, jump right back into it without Giannis, I'm kind of expecting Phoenix to win this game and potentially even blow out in this game. Now, again, we don't ever predict blowouts necessarily playing fantasy. You can lose money real quick doing that. But what I'm saying is I really like the Phoenix Suns at home in Game 1. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead in here, and I'm going to throw Ayton in this lineup. And then here's how I finished it out. I like Portis tonight, obviously without Giannis. And as long as Giannis doesn't play, I think Portis and Lopez are both going to be good options. There's a third option, too, that I think I might use, too, in Pat Connaughton. Because he'll get... Now, Connaughton is hot or cold. He's either making his shots or he isn't. But he was in the last game. We used him, and it came out. If Giannis is off the floor, Connaughton looks like the guy they're going to go to over Forbes for more minutes. But anyway, so Ayton, I like Portis in tonight's game. And as long as Portis is starting over Giannis throughout, as we go throughout the series. And then I think Chris Paul is just a guy that I'm going to lean on a lot in Showdown and in series because he's just the most consistent guy. Devin Booker can get hot and pop off for 40 points, anytime. But over a period of time, generally speaking, I like the peripherals that Chris Paul brings you with assists, some rebounds, scoring obviously. But he's more likely to get a double-double or even a triple-double, Chris Paul, I think, than Devin Booker. So just from consistency standpoint, I think I'm going to use Paul in this lineup. And then I finished it out with the guy we talked about, Pat Connaughton. And then I have room here, if you notice, I've got 64 left. I'm going to slip down to Jay Crowder over Mikal Bridges. Now, I don't know if either of these guys are a great option, but the thing with Jay Crowder, he's the guy that's going to get the more minutes. At least that's how it's been throughout these playoffs. And I think he's a little more consistent than Bridges. Bridges is more likely to give you the bigger game, but because of Crowder's minutes, he's more likely over a period of time to perform. That's why we're going to really like him, I think, when we get to the series side of things. But yeah, so this was my first one I built with Holiday. Take a look at that. And then there was another one. And again, this will get you different. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put it in or not. But I put Holiday, and then watch this. I can do Ayton. I can do Paul. I can do Booker. The most underrated and curious guy on the slate to me in Showdown and Series is Cameron Johnson. I have no idea why Torrey Craig is $1,000 more than him. Torrey Craig had a pretty good game and played minutes last game because Cam Johnson didn't play. But over the period of the playoffs, Cam Johnson has been the one getting 20 to 25 minutes and not Torrey Craig. I'm going to fade away from Cameron Payne during this just because you don't know what kind of minutes he's going to get, especially in close games. I think Paul and Booker are going to get most of them. But Cam Johnson has pretty consistently gotten between 20 and 25 minutes throughout this entire playoff. So I'm going to go back to him. And when we get to series, he's going to be a key guy for me in series at 2,800. But if I go Cam Johnson here, I've got 5,600 left. That's exactly enough for Jay Crowder. But do I want to go 5 Phoenix guys with only Drew Holiday? It'll get you different. And I do like Phoenix tonight. So it is an option. But you would also have then the option, like I said, we could put Connaughton in here to get another Milwaukee guy in there. So those are a couple of the options I'm looking at, playing Drew Holiday as my captain. And then another guy I like at captain tonight, I do believe, is, just spend the money and play Chris Paul. Again, I think he's going to be the most, whoops, I didn't go back here. I think he's just going to be the most consistent guy throughout the playoffs, and they're going to lean on him to do everything like they always do. So I think it makes sense to put Chris Paul in as a captain. This is the lineup I came in with Paul. Again, I had Holiday. I went ahead and threw Middleton in to this one, and then Portis. Mainly tonight, again, with Portis, because once Giannis comes back, Portis isn't going to get as many minutes if he does come back. Maybe he won't come back. And then we went once again to Cameron Johnson, and I don't mind. Again, we've got enough for Bridges, Crowder, or Connaughton. Take your pick. If you think Bridges might be more likely to have the bigger game tonight, then put Bridges in. If you think it's Crowder, put Crowder in. They're basically the same guy. I tend to lean towards Crowder just because he seems to be the guy whose minutes are the most secure. And then, so another captain, if you're looking at maybe to get different, I think Portis might be a decent option. He could go off, he could go off tonight with Giannis off the floor, and score big if you're looking for a captain that's cheaper to get different. And then I think DeAndre Ayton makes sense as a captain tonight. Again, he's been putting up double-doubles pretty much in every game. I think he had a game where he had like almost 19 rebounds. He's just been consistent. He's been one of the three guys scoring for the Phoenix Suns, Paul, Booker, and, I think I don't see any reason that'll change, why they won't go to DeAndre Ayton. So I like him as a lower price captain. I don't think I'm going to go much lower than that. Again, I'm not going to chase Brook Lopez having a career game. If he comes out and has another one, God, good on him. And I guess he just beats me. So I think that's probably the extent of it where I want to go for captains tonight, guys. I'm going to look at Chris Paul, Drew Holiday, and then maybe either Ayton or Portis. I'm going to fade Middleton just because he's going to be so popular. And again, he really hasn't been great in the first and second games of most of the series so far this season in the playoffs. Okay, so real quick, let's get off of this. Let's go to lineups, and we'll create just a really quick lineup here just so you guys know what I'm thinking here as far as series go. I like these series things. I think the main thing to take away, guys, from the series is we can't use Giannis. I went back and looked at the series before that had, like when Chris Paul missed a couple of games. Chris Paul was not in any of the winning lineups. You can't sacrifice an entire game for a guy. I mean, that's just too many points. If Giannis would play the next game and just go off for the rest of the series, I still don't think it's worth the risk. To put him into a series lineup, and who knows if he's going to come back the second game, and how effective is he going to be when he comes back with this hyperextended knee. So I think Giannis is just a full fade for me. One of my favorite captains for this long haul is going to be DeAndre Ayton, just again because of the consistency, the double-doubles that he seems to get about every game. Hopefully he can continue that. If I play a couple extra lineups, I'll probably put Holiday in instead of Middleton. Again, Middleton's just going to be so popular. And then I'll probably look at a guy like Chris Paul. And if you want to get, cute, try and get a little bit different, you can go to a Lopez. He's going to play regardless if Giannis comes back. It's just the consistency with him. But we'll see. Maybe Lopez just keeps scoring a bunch of points with Giannis off the floor. It's just something we have to think about. And then maybe a guy like Jay Crowder as a take-a-chance captain to get way different than everybody else. He's not going to be high-owned as a captain. And, again, he gets a lot of minutes every game, so maybe he just has one of those series where he scores 40 fantasy points every night. It can happen. And it's that kind of stuff that would separate you from everybody else where you could get a takedown in a showdown event. So just some things to consider. I'm not going to go through and build up any lineups, guys. I think you kind of get the sense of what I'm talking about here. The captains I like in series. I'm going to stay away from Middleton, and if he's the winner, he's the winner. Holiday, Ayton, maybe Lopez. Certainly Chris Paul is a good option. And then to get different, maybe somebody like a Bridges. As long as their minutes are secure, look at that. Look at the guys that are playing the most minutes and that are the most consistent. And that's why I think Ayton has been getting a lot of double-doubles, playing really well. And, take a swing at Crowder, maybe. He could just have a huge series because he does get the minutes. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning into this. That's going to do it for today. Again, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell before you get out of here. And please give me a follow on Twitter at SandoDFS. I would certainly appreciate it. And again, guys, look for some of these new videos that we have coming out here within the next week or so. I'm really looking forward to putting them out. I'm really looking forward to getting back in to being behind the microphone, and making some videos and having some podcasts and doing some things that, like I said, it was kind of my roots. It was my passion. It was my bread and butter for a long time. I've got the home studio now, so hey, why the hell not? Let's do it, and let's make some money in the process. That's the whole point of me starting these videos. I am the regular guy that started playing DFS as a non-professional and started making pretty good money doing it. So it can be done. That's why I'm here, to help people, to guide people along, to show you don't have to be a professional putting in 150 lineups a day to have success playing daily fantasy. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Sorry the video went long. We will talk to you then.